What's going on, guys? What's going on? Ryan here, back again with another video. All right, so it's the first time I'm taking advantage of this little feature. A lot of you actually wanted me to do this, so this is for you guys. First ever time using Premiere with a video. So I hope you guys enjoy today's video. So this right here is going to be good news for both Microsoft and Sony. And it's pretty interesting. Some pretty interesting news. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Sony. Sony's is pretty straightforward. Sony came out with a new trailer, and it's called The Coming Attractions for 2019. Now, in this trailer, they showed off a bunch of games. They showed off The Last of Us Part 2. They showed off, what was it, Death Stranding. They showed off Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone. They showed off Dreams, Medieval. Now, obviously, there is a mix of games in here that are clearly coming out in 2019. Clearly coming out. But games like The Last of Us Part 2, not Days Gone, but The Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima, those games don't necessarily have a 2019 release date on them, but they are in this trailer, and they're mixed with Days Gone. So I know a lot of people might look at this and go, well, God, that means that they're coming out in 2019. I doubt they're coming out for 2019. I think one of which is going to be saved for 2020, you know, just to push, you know, the PS5 and go a little further out there. I don't know if they'll do it just yet. I don't think they're going to release all these games in 2019. You think about it, that's a lot of games. That's a lot of bangers for 1 year, you know, especially when you got potential hits with like Concrete Genie, you got Medieval, which has people talking, and of course the long-awaited Dreams, and of course Days Gone. I think they got plenty for 2019. And another thing you got to take into account for 2019 as well. For 2019, we always get new announcements in New Year's. You know what I'm saying? We'll always get something like a game that's just now started production and they'll announce it at an event, or a game that's like mid-production we'll get an announcement for and we didn't even know about it. So I think, you know, we're fine. I think that's what they're going to do for 2019. 2019 is looking really, really good, but it really is going to be like a pick and choose type of thing for Sony if they want to release something like a Days Gone or a Death Stranding in this year. You know, I think it really is going to come down to that. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they'll drop all 3 of these. You know, that's a little too much. You think about it. They dropped that much in this year. If any game was to drop in 2019, I'm betting on probably The Last of Us Part 2 if they were to do that, and they'll just save like the Death Stranding and the Ghost of Tsushima. If they don't want to do Last of Us Part 2, then odds are we can go back to Death Stranding possibly dropping in 2019. Remember, the only thing that we know for a fact that hasn't been done yet for Death Stranding, but because we know the game's done. Kojima basically said the game was done. The only thing that he had to work on was the fact that he was doing the Japanese dub for the characters for Japan. That's all he was doing. That's it. Everything else is done. The game was pretty much done. He confirmed that in an interview. So we can put that to the side. You know, that's pretty much done. I think they'll do that. I think they'll most likely drop Death Stranding if he's, you know, done on time and he's got everything worked out. There has been no, you know, talks of that being, you know, happening yet. But if it does happen, I mean, hey, that's where my eyes would be on Death Stranding, you know. So I think they'll do something like that. You know, The Last of Us Part 2 is another one. But I don't know. It really is hard to say. There's so many good games they got. There's so many, you know, to choose from. Ghost of Tsushima, I'm not even sure if that's finished. You know, we got one demo of it, but if we do get anything from 2019 regarding Ghost of Tsushima, it's probably going to be another demo, probably new. You know, they probably show off a new gameplay session, actual new boss fights like we saw in the first demo, and we'll see a little bit more like stealth kills and vice versa, stuff like that. I think they'll do something like that for 2019, but 2019 is definitely looking pretty good for gaming all around pretty much. I'm very happy for it as well. Remember correctly, Nintendo has some games too. They got what was it, Super Mario Bros. U. I think that's what they're doing for the Switch. So they're doing that as well. So there's some games coming out for sure. Oh, and we also got the new Pokemon as well. The realistic, or not the realistic, but the full-fledged Pokemon that is dropping for Nintendo. So 2019 is definitely looking pretty promising. All right. So let's move on to another topic here, and this is going to be the one that ends the video. Now, this one right here has been a topic right here. This is going to be an interesting topic too, but it's been an interesting topic all around going with gamers. Now, ever since Microsoft first started buying studios, a lot of people have really speculated that they're taking everything seriously, and, you know, they're going to be pushing everything and doing their best to reclaim their name. Now, Obviously, Microsoft is going a completely different route with their game studios, especially with the Play Anywhere. Microsoft really wants to embrace the other billions of gamers out there in terms of PC, mobile, you name it. They want to embrace everybody. They don't just want to be sitting in the console space. They want to be more, obviously, to increase more revenue. That's what it's about, but they want to do that. Now, Microsoft is looking to buy even more studios, and of course, they're also looking into getting into VR. And this is according to an analyst. Okay, so take this for well, what a grain of salt, but also I guess you can kind of take some truth into this too, because Microsoft has been very aggressive when it comes to buying studios. But according to the analyst Lewis Ward, he believes that Microsoft will indeed. I'm gonna start with VR. Now, he does believe that Microsoft will attempt VR. Now, VR, I mean. How do I put this? VR is interesting for them to go for. I ain't gonna lie, that would be an interesting field for them. If I remember correctly, Microsoft already tried to do something very similar to VR with HoloLens. Remember, HoloLens was going to be their big thing. This is back when the 360 was a thing, but they kind of abandoned HoloLens. They never really embraced HoloLens. And the crazy thing about HoloLens could have been used for much more than just gaming. You know, that's something you can use at a doctor's appointment or have at a doctor's appointment. You know, your doctor have your symptoms and all that in one side of the lens, and on the other side, it would show like known cures. So, you know what I'm saying? That'd be cool. That's the cool technology that they could have sold and potentially made better, you know? But they didn't really embrace HoloLens. They kind of just put that on the back burner. And that's sad, too, because that kind of goes in the same field as the Illuma Room. A lot of people forgot about the Illuma Room. Illuma Room had a lot of potential as well, though the requirements for Illuma Room at the time were kind of absurd. If I remember correctly, they stated that you shouldn't have a bunch of like objects or something like that in your in the area of the camera for the aluminum to really work. They were saying that it kind of relies on a space, like not really space, but like a flat surface, basically, right? Not a lot of crazy things moving around, or not a lot of crazy things in the background. So that was interesting, but you know, that was another idea that was pretty much scrapped. You know, I think if they were to push VR, they were to really go after Sony for VR, and they really wanted to put Sony on notice when it comes to VR, then they got to most definitely push, just really push the quality factor out there. That's all it is. It comes down to quality, right? If you're going to really, you know, attempt to beat Sony in VR, just drop the quality games. That's all it's going to come down to. You know, make sure you have the games that are just worth buying. And I can see them trying with the new studios for sure. You know, they're buying new studios. But again, only time will tell. We have to wait and see what exactly these studios got up their sleeves. We don't even know what's being worked on. You know, we know the initiatives is most definitely working on something big because they're hiring for, you know, a lot of people for the initiative. So, you know, initiatives is probably the only thing that we know for a fact is going to be AAA. Other things potentially could be, you know, those AA filler type games for Game Pass, and they could eventually push those games as well on VR. You know, it's one of those things that Microsoft's trying to do, and I can see the bigger picture. Trust me, I can see the bigger picture. It's all about money. They see bigger dollar signs. They see more revenue this way. They see a much more of a bigger audience, so to speak, by doing this. But even by doing this, I mean, you still need just to have that, you know, that crazy. Those crazy games that make you stick out, you know, and that's where Microsoft hopefully learned from this generation, and hopefully they won't have this problem again for next generation. You know, that's the only thing I can personally say about Microsoft and this whole situation regarding their studios and regarding their games. I think they're fine as is, but they just need to really step it up, you know. And yes, they are fine right now. They're doing okay. They're getting stuff right, but still, they really gotta step it up. The Xbox, all that, it needs to be completely like pulled off to the side, and they need to like really like look at it and go, okay, this is what we did right. This is what we didn't do right. This is what we can improve on, and then definitely make that the premise of the Xbox Scarlet. And you should have a beefier console, or you should have a better console overall for next generation. That's all you gotta do. Just take notes for what you did this gen. Improve upon them, learn from them, and there you go. Show that you were willing, and that's your way of improving. Will they do it? Only time will tell. But that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right, first time using Premiere, So definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm Ryan the Professional. Shout out to all the new faces. Welcome to the channel. If you guys missed the RGT podcast episode 43, we had a blast with you guys. It is on the channel. Definitely go give it a listen if you haven't done so already. Hope you guys enjoyed the new format. Yes, the Discord that we're working on will be up and running by the next podcast, by episode 44. So by Friday, you'll see us back Friday, and everything will be set up. All right. But without further ado, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and head on out of here. I'll see you guys later. You guys be blessed. Y'all be easy. And without further ado, keep it gaming. Later, guys.